So over the past month, the S&P 500 is down by 1.2%. So all I want to do in this video is to do a quick Trading 212 portfolio update, and let's not make it a long one. So first things first, here is my Trading 212 stocks ISA. Just look at the value. It is £116,425. The past month has been pretty good for me, up by £4,298. Rate of return, a positive 3.8%. You might be thinking the S&P 500 isn't even up that much. How am I up so much? I'm just going to quickly explain. Please don't judge me. This is my portfolio. This is what I do with my money. As you can see, my biggest holding is in cash. That is £115,732. Currently getting 4.9% as an annual equivalent rate on Trading 212. And that is a daily interest payment of £15 and 16 pence. However, come the 1st of March, this rate will be dropping to 4.6%, which is actually higher than the Bank of England's rate of 4.5%. There is one big difference here between now the stocks ISA, the invest account, and the cash ISA, is that the cash ISA will now give you less than the stocks ISA or the invest account if you have uninvested cash on there, and that will be dropping to 4.5%, unfortunately. However, daily interest still remains on the invest account and the ISA account. I'm going to show you my invest account later on. Now, the only reason why I have so much cash and that my rate of return has been really good over the past month is that I have been doing a lot of swing trading. As you can see, this month I've just been going overboard. You can literally I can keep scrolling. I've made so many trades. You can see my realized profit and loss has been £14,118. Now, the only reason why I did stop is because I got an email from Trading 212 telling me about my account activity. And then I just thought, you know what, it's not worth losing anything over this. So I'm going to actually, at least for a while now, stop doing that. I have actually been pretty successful doing that, but again, I don't actually ever recommend anyone doing that because there's a lot of risk in trying to do that, in that you can miss out on really good gains on the market. But you know what, I'm completely aware of the risks, and that's something that I took into consideration. But you can see a total realized profit and loss of £14,000 is absolutely great, regardless of whoever you are. That is nearly an entire ISA limit deposit, and I'm pretty sure I can get to 20k doing what I did. But anyway, I'm not going to do that. In total, my rate of return on Trading 212 only, remember, I've only had this Trading 212 ISA account since the 1st of April. Realistically, 6th of April, that would be when the ISA opened, you know, the trading year, the financial year. So I've only had it since less than 2 years, realizing £14,000. In my opinion, that's good for me, and that's why I did it. I don't recommend anyone doing it. This is my personal portfolio, and I just want to show you guys. Of course, the great benefit of me just being in cash right now is that yesterday the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 did close by around 2% less. So come Monday, I'm filming this on a Saturday, by the way. So come Monday, I'll probably just lump sum all of my money into something like an all world or an S&P 500 fund and just benefit from some long-term growth. Although that being said, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, they could be crashing a further 50-60%. Nobody knows. But I've got my pending orders down there. I'm just going to buy it on Monday and just stick with it for a while. I have definitely a lot enjoyed swing trading, but it's not something that I can recommend. But again, you can check out my last portfolio update. I had way less in my account than this, and I'm really happy with my results. So this is my Trading 212 invest account, and you can see over the past month, my rate of return, again beating the S&P 500, and again I've been doing a lot of swing trading on here too. I have realized a profit and loss so far of £5,000, and I personally think if it's in the invest account and I realize gains, that's all capital gains. This will go towards my £3,000 per year capital gains tax allowance, so I'm not really bothered by doing this. If I buy into the S&P 500 and it crashes, well, there's not much that I can do. All I can do is just wait until, you know, it goes back up, or I can earn more money and put it into my other portfolios or my SIP, and I'll benefit from long-term growth anyway. So you can see the value of my Trading 212 invest account is £23,078, and the whole point I have money in my invest account outside of my ISA is to generate £20,000 that I can just transfer into my ISA on the 6th of April when the new financial year starts. Once again, I'm very heavy on cash here, £21,410 in cash, currently getting that Trading 212 4.9% annual equivalent rate. Now that is a daily interest payment of around £2.80. And again, from the 1st of March, this is going to go down to 4.6%. Now, one thing I forgot to mention before is, of course, if you're going to be putting your money as uninvested cash with the higher rate on Trading 212, most of these funds will be put into qualifying money market funds, which are classed as investments, so your capital will be at risk. Do bear that in mind. I'm not trying to promote anything or sell you on anything. I'm just making you aware of things. Anyway, let's go through all of my investments one by one. I really don't want to spend too much time on this portfolio as my portfolio updates get really long. Of course, if you want to sign up to Trading 212 and receive a free fractional share worth up to £100, all you have to do is to just use the link in the description box down below. Alternatively, if you've already signed up to Trading 212 in the past 10 days and haven't received a free share, all you have to do is to click the 3 horizontal line menu over here, scroll all the way down until you see the use promo code section, and in this section please use my code JUBAIR and you should receive a free fractional share. I also receive something, so it really helps out the channel, allows me to make these videos really regularly, and I really appreciate all the help that I get. Now the first holding that I have is 0.01 shares in the Vanguard S&P 500. Initially this was just a £1 deposit. It is up by 11%, pretty good, and that's pretty nice there. Next, 0.03 shares in AMD, and that is up by 41%. You can see over the past month AMD down by over 10%, so not great there. I've actually invested over $1,000 in AMD with my Robinhood account, and it's really down by like 30%, so AMD's been doing really bad. You can see over the past year down by over 36%, which is really worrying. Next I have 0.29 shares in GSK, and that is up by 7.56% or 30 pence. Moderna down by 58%. You can see over the past month down by 7%, really doing bad here. In my portfolio overall down by 58%, absolute loser here. Next is National Grid. In my portfolio down by 4.4%. That is a loss of 22 pence, and I hold 0.49 shares in them. Direct Line Insurance, 2.01 shares. Over the past month down by only 1.2%, and overall up in my portfolio by 33% or £1.32. Next I have 0.12 shares in Walt Disney. Over the past month down by 0.28%. In my portfolio overall, I've held it for a long time now, up by 19.05%. And as you can see, they also have dividends back on their shares. You can see ex-dividend date on the 24th of June, 50 cents per share. I don't really own a full share, so I might get a bit there. Next, I have 0.02 shares in ASML, up by 2.14% or 26 pence. Deutsche Bank, 1.01 shares in them, up by 53%. Over the past month, doing well, up by 4.65%, so basically beating the S&P 500. In my portfolio overall, up by 53.69% or a positive return of £5.75. Now next I have exactly 1 share in Carnival. Over the past month down by 7.34%, but in my portfolio overall up by a really good 147.14% or a gain of £10.30. I believe they used to pay a dividend but don't anymore. Now next I have Mercedes-Benz, 0.38 shares in them. Over the past month, surprisingly up by 4.53%, almost touching my average buying price, so I would have been in the green, but yeah, overall down by 9.06%. or a loss of £1.88. Next, I have 2.32 shares in Orange, down overall by 4.48% or a loss of £1. Over the past month, they've been doing really good, up by 8.26%. And as you can see, I would have been up overall, however, the FX impact has lost me 4.79%. Next, I have 6.2 shares in Royal Mail. Now, over the past month, they are up by only 0.05%. However, in my portfolio overall, they are up by 71.67% or a gain of £9.51. Now, next, I have 31.1 shares in Vodafone. Over the past month, they are down by 2.93%. And overall, in my portfolio, they are down by 27.37%. Now, I'm not sure why the dividend yield is still here. I believe they've cut their dividends. If anyone knows, let me know. Next, I have 0.07 shares in Microsoft. Over the past month, they are down by a massive 8.56%. However, in my portfolio overall, up by 4.67%. There is a very small upcoming dividend coming up. However, I've held these shares for quite a while now, and a rate of return of only 4.67% is pretty lackluster. Next, I have 0.4 shares in Nike. Over the past month, up by 3.04%. However, in my portfolio, down by nearly 26% or £8.60. An upcoming dividend coming up very soon at the beginning of March. This will be paid early April, but the ex-dividend date is early March. Next, I have the Vanguard Germany All Cap, very small holding here, up overall in the past month by basically over the S&P 500's amount by 2.78%. There seems to be a few indices this year that have been beating out the S&P 500, for example, the FTSE 100, and now the Vanguard Germany All Cap also seems to be doing pretty well. But anyway, since investing, I am up by 20.49%, or a positive return of £4.23. Next, I have 0.37 shares in BMW. Over the past month, surprisingly up by 5.57%. In my portfolio overall, however, down by 20.34%. And that is a loss of £6.55. Next, I have 3.1 shares in H&M. Over the past month, down by 5.12%, now below my average buy-in price. So that is a loss now of 4.26%, or a loss of £1.47. As you can see, 2 upcoming dividends here. Next, I have 1.5 shares in Delivery Hero. Over the past month, up by 6.06%. Again, exceeding my average buy-in price for a bit and then falling below it. So overall in my portfolio, down by 11.11%, or a loss of £4.28. Next, I have 0.17 shares in Tesla. Over the past month, down by 18.74%. That is a huge tumble and a reason why I don't like to invest in companies like this. However, in my portfolio overall, they are still up by a very good 58.3%, or a return on investment of £16.90. Next, I have 0.47 shares in Alphabet. Over the past month, down by nearly 10%. However, in my portfolio, up by 36.23%, or a return on investment of a positive £17.86. Next, I have 23.17 shares in IAG. Now, over the past month, they are down by 1.06%. However, since investing with them, I am up by a massive 115.03%, or a return of £40.41. They also pay a small dividend yield of 0.76%. So next, I have 0.42 shares in Apple. Over the past month, surprisingly up by 9.49%, and in my portfolio overall up by 37.05%, or a return of £22.41. Next, I have 21.05 shares in BP. Over the past month, up by 4.99%, and in my portfolio overall down by 14.83%, or a return of negative £16.41. Next, I have 18.13 shares in Deutsche Lufthansa. Over the past month, up by 7.25%. However, in my portfolio overall, down by 28.26%, or a loss of £37.79. Next, I have the infamous Nvidia 0.9 shares in them. Over the past month, down by 8.22%. However, in my portfolio overall, the biggest winner by far, a positive 354.62%, or a return of only £75.64. The stock everyone wishes they had bought more of. Next, I have 2.13 shares in PayPal. Over the past month, they have dropped quite significantly, down by over 16.4%. However, in my portfolio overall, they are still up by 21.9%, and that is a return of £22.81. Next, I have another really big winner, Rolls-Royce at 33.54 shares. It seems like they can't stop growing or the sun coming into the room. So over the past month, up by 1.33%. In my portfolio overall, up by a massive 274.49%, or a return of a positive £150.31. Now next, I have 1.24 shares in Amazon. Over the past month, down by 7.84%. However, overall in my portfolio, I am up by 104.73%, or a return of £109.46. Now lastly, I have 343.7 shares in Lloyds Banking Group. Over the past month, they've been doing really well, up by 8.91%. In my portfolio overall, they are up by 51.42%, and that is a gain of £78.43. So going forward, I'm going to be probably keeping most of this in cash so that I can transfer it to my chosen ISA. I've not 100% decided where my next ISA will be. Most likely it will not be Trading 212. Although I love the platform, I just think I do have enough in my Trading 212 ISA. Not necessarily anything to do with the £85,000 thing that everyone talks about, but I do want to try out other brokers, and I am a sucker for using lots of different platforms. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.